What is it with business language? We all laugh and we all mock it, the cliches and the corporate jargon, but still we have people reaching out to those that are thinking outside the box whilst they're running things up poles and then circling back with each other. And we keep doing it. We've got candidates, we've got applicants, we've got talent. If you live in a really dark place on this earth, then you may refer to it as human capital, God forbid. But in HR and talent attraction and in employer branding, we're dealing with people. In fact, across all of business, it's about humans. And I think if we get back to putting that fact that we're dealing with humans at the centre of all the decisions that we're making, I think we could solve quite a few of our problems. In this video, I'm going to give some examples of how that could impact the world of employer branding, talent attraction, and retention. I just did it. I just called it talent. Oh my God, somebody shoot me. Now, you could be doing employer branding and recruitment marketing in a huge organisation where you've got loads of resources and things are quite sophisticated. You know, you've got a solid, robust EVP and the culture is clearly articulated and its values and behaviours are there and defined and everything. Or you may be in a smaller business where you're just starting out and you're at the low end of kind of your maturity curve when it comes to branding and marketing. You've got no resources and you're a one-person band. Or you could be something anywhere in between that spectrum. But either way, if you're in that latter camp I described, you may be looking for somewhere to start, and this would be perfect for you. Or you could be in the bigger environment and have lost your way. So this is something great to bring it back to and go again from. And I've been in all environments, and you take briefs from clients or from hiring managers or talent acquisition leaders. There's that word again, talent. It's difficult, this, isn't it? And with the words used, things get quite technical and you detach from the fact that in all of this, you're dealing with people and you're dealing with humans. So the way I start to look at it is when I'm speaking to these stakeholders, whether it's clients or hiring managers, etc., they'll come to you and say, you know, we need some programmers, we need to hire engineers, or we need to recruit developers or salespeople or people in marketing or finance, etc. And I'll sit with them and say, can we just remember that we're not hiring developers and programmers and all those things. What we're actually doing is hiring humans. We're hiring humans who develop, humans who program, humans who sell. Because in my experience, I think that helps the conversation. And it roots things in that human, that people connection element that's so important in employer branding and talent marketing. And if you keep that front and centre, then as I said, whether you're starting out and just need a starting place, or you're sophisticated and lost your way, or you just need to find something to base your communication on. Now, you may have a really, as I said, advanced employer value proposition, and in previous content, you can find links to videos on my YouTube or LinkedIn. I talk about EVP, and there's typically 5 pillars that make it up. There's your pay, perks, the prospects for individuals and the prospects of the company, whether it's enticing for people to want to join. There's positive environment, and then there's your cultural pillars. All those things make up the EVP. And some of those might be quite sophisticated, but for some people, before you start talking about all the fancy stuff, we've got to take it back to what attracts humans. And I know this is an old model, but I still think it carries a lot of weight and is very valid. But it comes back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, I've included the foundation of this. I don't know if it's always necessary, but fundamentally, at the very basics, before we do anything as humans, before we can strive or thrive or succeed, we need to eat, sleep, rest, and recuperate. So beyond that, before you ask people to run through walls for you or expect them to do so, In EVPs, some people define it as the give, the get, sorry. Others define it as the give and the get. But typically companies are very good at banging on about what the give is. You've got to give this, we need you to do that because we want to expand the business footprint by 3 times where it is now, or we want to drastically increase our revenue or improve our profit, and we need you to give this to help us achieve those strategic goals. But before people do that, they need to meet these foundational needs. So, is my job secure? And having been through a redundancy lately, when that's in the background, it's very hard to give your all when you're thinking to yourself, hang on a second, you want me to help you increase your revenue times 10 over the next 5 years, but I don't know if I'm going to be here in 5 days. That's a very difficult dichotomy. Am I accepted? Am I trusted? Do you trust me to do this? Are you going to be standing over me? Is there going to be this sense of, you've brought me in to do a job, but you're not letting me do my job? And it goes back to the old adage, you hire great people so they can tell you what to do. You don't hire great people and then tell them what to do. And then beyond that, you need people need community. They need that friendship. They need that camaraderie. That psychological safety, etc., as it's referred to commonly now. And then I need to be appreciated. Am I seen? Am I heard? Am I recognised? Am I rewarded? And when you're confident that you're nailing those things, or you're on a journey, if you're not there already, to be doing that more rigorously, that's when people will run through those walls for you. That's when that self-actualization kicks in. Now, I've seen companies try and do that reverse. They come in and say, and it's a tricky one, right? Because in one sense, and you hear this interesting conversation with millennials and Generation Z and Generation X and the difference. Is it, provide me these foundational things and I will deliver for you, which could be perceived as entitled, the entitled generation. I don't buy into that, by the way. I'm just using that as an example of how this could be perceived. So is it a case of, give me these things and I will help you achieve your company goals and visions? Or is it a case of, no. You work and help us achieve our visions and we'll give you all these things? It's a tricky one. I'm in the camp, and I stand by this, that in this context, you have to give these outlined fundamental things before you even expect someone to kind of jump up in the morning, jump out of bed and want to kind of really make a go of it for you, for your company's success. Maybe I'm wrong. But if nothing else, if you're struggling on what to communicate or what to get across in your messaging and you're not quite sure, or you're focusing too much on those technical things when you're in your marketing or branding communication and articulation, then remember this. People just want a place that's going to be kind, where they can be themselves, where they're heard, recognised, appreciated, they feel safe. And that's really all humans ever want. So if nothing else, get that in your communication. Ensure that's part of your culture. And if it's not, you don't need an employer brand. You probably need culture transformation. Because to go to the market and say you're doing that and you provide that at the most foundational level of what humans want in their work and life in general, without that, if your culture is toxic and your values aren't aligned to providing those basic needs, then your employer brand would be a lie. So I hope that helps, as always. Whether you agree or not, as always, I welcome the challenge, I welcome the feedback, and it'd be great to continue the conversation in the comments, whether you're seeing this on LinkedIn or YouTube. And I'll see you again soon. Cheers.